Shalom, Apostle Talk, coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shabbat Kakodash. And I'm going to entitle this video, "And Stand in Thy Lot at the End of the Days." This is from Daniel 12, verse 13. "But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days." Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shai Bashem, Bakar Kadash. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shai Bashem, Bakar Kadash. Now, what I'm going to do is, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. Bunch of scriptures, precepts in my head. I wanted to start with another scripture. I wanted to start with the prophecy of Malachi. But you know what I'm going to do? Let me breeze through this. The time of the end. I'm going to breeze through it. I'm not going to break down interpret every single verse, but I'm going to get some of the ones that jump out at me. So it says, first verse, Daniel 12, verse 1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people." Now the headline right here is the time of the end, right? 13th verse or last verse, but go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest. Isaiah 57 should come to mind, meaning that Daniel, just like every prophet on the earth except for Elijah and Enoch. So those are a few examples, but every man on the earth and woman and child died. There's only a few men that went to the spiritual realm and didn't have to die. So their body went into the spiritual realm. So what happened when Elijah was taken up in the chariot of fire, which was a ship? His body was beamed up into the ship, because when you read the account, that's 2 Kings, when you read the account, there was what's called a tractor beam. That's why we say we're gonna get beamed up. They show you that in the series Star Trek. And what happens is the body is on the planet. The tractor beam comes and breaks down the elements, gathers the elements, and brings the elements back together on the ship. So that's what happened. Beam me up, Scotty, happened. So Elijah was beamed up into his ship. His body was beamed up into that ship, and he was in the physical form in the ship. And then his body, the elements, for lack of a better term, melted away. So what did he have waiting for him? He had a body in heaven. That's in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. That speaks about there's two bodies. There's an earthly body that you have, and every time you come back, you're given a different body. You're born from a baby. And then when the elements in your body, the cells, break down as you get old through a process called what's the term? Something radicals. Damn, I can't think of the term. Somebody put it in there. Damn, I can't think of the term. But radicals is in the terminology. It'll come back to me. And that's what breaks your body down. That's why you have to eat the right foods based mostly dealing with supplements and plant-based herbs and so forth. I'm trying to think of the word, but radicals, free radicals, free radicals, free radicals break your body down, break on a cellular level. I'm gonna come back to this, but I gotta go into that now. Bear with me for a minute. So that's what happened to Enoch, which you can read about that in the book of Jude. And it also happened with Elijah. So Elijah and Enoch were two important people. Oh, it also happened to our Lord because he died. They put him in the sepulcher, which is hell, not burning forever, vocab, fathead clown. So let me do this. Free radicals. Free radicals let's see what it means. In chemistry, a free radical is an atom, molecule, or ion that has at least one unprepared valence electron, with some exceptions. These unpaired electrons make excuse me, radicals highly chemically reactive. Many radicals spontaneously dimerize. Most organic radicals have short lifetime. Most organic radicals have short lifetimes. Let me do it this way. Okay, free radicals in the body. So Google read my mind. Okay, free radicals are compounds that can cause harm, keyword is harm, if their levels become too high in your body. What makes you old? What makes you sick? What makes you ultimately die? Free radicals. There's a war, constant war going on in your body to this, because you die on a cellular level. You eat, you see two people born, they're twins. When they're 60, one looks, healthy, young for the age. They can pass for like maybe 45, 40. The other one looks like they're 80. That's from free radicals. You do drugs, you drink alcohol, abuse alcohol, you don't eat the right food, you don't exercise. Your body's not in tune. Your body, you break down. All of us have cancers in us. I'm going to get back into the subject. Don't worry about that. I said free radicals are compounds that can cause, and this is why Bishop Nate is always getting sick, because of free radicals. I said free radicals are compounds that can cause harm, meaning to your body, on a cellular level, if their levels become too high in your body. That's why you have to eat the proper foods. You have to hydrate your body. You may have to go on fast, or what is it called? Intermittent fast. They're linked to multiple illnesses, including diabetes. What's the highest rate of diabetes is in the so-called Black community? Why is that? Number one is stress. You're stressed out. you eat garbage. Go into any hood, you ain't gonna find a Whole Foods, even though a lot of that stuff in the Whole Foods is garbage too. But you got to know what to shop for. Anything that says 360 on it, which is Whole Foods' own personal brand, is garbage. Most of that stuff comes out of China, even if it says organic. Okay, so you have to do your research. But if you go to the hood, you're not going to find a like a Trader Joe's, or they used to have Mrs. Greens and Mrs. Greens and Miss Greens, which I believe they went out of business. But you have these green markets, and you have these health stores, for lack of a better way of saying it, where you deal with supplements and you eat organic foods, or even superfoods. Superfoods are better than organic. You have regular food, GMO food, non-organic food, then you got organic foods, non-GMO foods, non-gluten foods. You know, wheat is a killer in your body. But now when you go back 40 years ago, or you go back 2,000 years ago, you can eat wheat. This wheat is not good for you. It kills you. It forms into free radicals. It says, I'm back here. They're linked to multiple illnesses, including diabetes. Like I said, you go to the hood, you ain't gonna find. Now, Harlem has a Whole Foods. Why? Because you got Edomites up there. Edomites are pushing Jake out. Heart disease, which is heart attack, strokes, and cancer. We all have cancer cells in us, but our immune system fights the cancers. So, but you have to build your immune system up by eating the right foods. Me, myself, I pretty much eat, most of the time is one meal a day. My first meal is a liquid meal. It says your body has its own antioxidant defense, antioxidant, and your body becoming oxidized is like metal becoming rusty, right? That's rust. So antioxidant, I'm gonna look that up too. Defenses to keep free radicals in check. See, Jake breaks down because of the junk, the environment that they live in. So I went all into that. Come right back over here. It says, but go thou thy way till the end be. The end is talking about the end of this system, right? We're in the end. There's not going to be another group of generation of prophets. We're not going to have sons that are going to be the prophets, and they're going to have sons, and they're going to be the prophets, and we're here for another 50 years. You can see all around you that this system is getting ready to go. The last great rulership, which is the Second Roman Empire, is America, Babylon, the EU, and NATO, and they're getting ready to get destroyed. All the billions of dollars that they sent to the Ukraine, the people of the Ukraine, the Ukraine itself is getting their ass handed to them. They're losing miserably. And what I found out, there was two, I believe they were American soldiers. You had soldiers from the UK. A lot of those soldiers are from France. You know, they'll put on the colors of the Ukraine, and they're getting captured. There was two U.S. military guys, mercenaries that went over there and got captured. There has to be more than two. And basically, they're telling the American soldiers over here, don't come here. They lying to us. So I got to get more into that story. There's things happening over there, you know, that we're getting hints of. There's different people that's bringing it out. But anyway, Russia has about 25% of the country anyway. It's going to, once it gets its main target, once it gets into Kiev, takes Kiev and other key places. What's the one? Donbass. They took that. I mean, you got to keep up with that news, but the capital is Kiev. Once they get Kiev, and if they happen to catch the so-called president, which is nothing but an actor, you know, before he became the president, he was an actual actor that played a president. He was a school teacher that became the president. And then guess what? This actor wound up becoming, he's the Ronald Reagan of the Eastern Europe. That's all he is. He's Ronald Reagan. That's all this guy. Zelensky is Ronald Reagan all over again. Ronald Reagan 2.0. He's just an actor. He's told what to do. He's given a script. Because what does actors do? They get, here's a script, study it, you know, and then they act like they're the real person. Oh, that's a script. So he got a script. He was developed. Anyway, it says, I'm a little all over the place, but that's all right. But go and that, but I'm speaking on that because that shows you that we're at the end. Russia is getting a big foothold in the rest of Europe. That's those assembly of nations from the north coming together. Because Russia is north, what is that? Northeast of us. Russia is the uttermost north. That's why it says the north. Sometimes in the scriptures it speaks about the north country. Sometimes it's talking about Babylon, the US. Other times it's talking about Russia. So what Putin, what he describes himself as Peter the Great. Got to look him up. I'm gonna do some research on him and why he was called. He had to be great if he was called Peter the Great. So he believes that he's Peter the Great. I don't know if he believes in reincarnation, but he likens himself unto Peter the Great. And most likely, I'll do the research, he might be Peter the Great. Hey, this Nero Caesar's back, raising hell like he did 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years, about 2,000 years ago. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Nero Caesar. That's Nero Caesar coming back. That's why he raises so much hell. He does all this illegal shit and he ain't getting locked up. He got impeached 2 times. The only other impeachment was maybe, I'm sorry, Clinton was impeached, but he wasn't convicted of it. Then you had another president that was impeached. I think there was only in history, there's 4 impeaches, and this guy had 2 of them, and he's still walking around talking about I'm gonna be president in 2024. That's Nero fucking Caesar, man. Not Nero Caesar, but Nero fucking Caesar. So when you call his name, put the F in the name. Anyway, it says, but go thou thy way till the end be, but thou shalt rest. Isaiah 57, what does that say? Somebody can put it in, I'm not gonna go to it. It said they're gonna rest in their beds, right? And stand meaning to be resurrected as a newborn baby in thy lot at the end of the days. We're living in the end of the days, right? Anytime you see end of days, the end, latter days, it's talking about the end of this man's era. So what does the word lot mean? Let's look up the word lot. And this is going to lead into Abba being coming back. Elijah, John the Baptist, and Abba. Abba in a previous life was John the Baptist, and he was also Elijah the prophet. One of 2 prophets that never tasted death. They were just translated into the heavenly realm. They received that body that the Apostle Paul spoke about in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Okay, it says Lot. Let's look up the word Lot. I looked it up anyway, but let me go through it for y'all out there. The word there is Gawa Rao. It means lot, pebble, used systematically making decisions, portion, lot, portion, thing assigned by casting lots, recompense, retribution. Okay, this is what I want to wanted to read. Okay, root meaning rough as stone, uh, properly a a pebble, i.e., like you toss a coin. That's a lot. That's casting a lot. We use coin back there to use stones. Um, i.e., a lot, small stone being used for that purpose. Figuratively, this is what we want, a portion or destiny, as if determined by lot, as if determined by lot. The word I want out of here is destiny. What does the word destiny mean? It means you're destined to do something. You were set up by the Most High to be great in this, like Stevie Wonder. He was destined to be great. They knew it. They saw it. That's why this guy, the head of Motown Records, can't even think of his name. He named him Wonder because he was a wonder as a child. I remember when he first came on the scene as a child. I was 12 years old. I believe the song that he did that made him get up there famous was Clap Your Hands. And I believe he was 12 years old. And Barry Gordy, the head of Motown Records out of Detroit, out of Michigan. I forget his name. You can put his name in there. I'm not gonna look it up. But the name Wonder was given to him, as I said a couple of seconds ago, was given to him by Barry Gordy because he was a wonder. And he was destined to be a great musician. When you read the story of, I was almost going to say Amadeus, which he is Amadeus. Prince, when he was about 16, 15, 16, I think 16, going about to be 17, he was looking for a job in the papers and he couldn't find one. And he went into music, and then he just immersed himself in music, and he mastered, I believe, every instrument. And he was groomed to be the singer. And I believe it was 2 years ago, his first appearance, well, they say it was the what was it? The Wolfman Jack show. It was called the Midnight Special, I think it was called. But I didn't see that show. I used to watch that show on Friday nights. And then on Sunday nights, I'm sorry, Saturday nights, you had Don Kirshner's rock concert. I remember that. And I used to get into it. Don Kirshner's rock concert, if I'm not mistaken. Let me do this. I'm going all into secular, stuff, but I'm just trying to make you understand that there's a thing called reincarnation. And this is not for you that already know, that have been in this thing for 15 years, 10 years, or whatever. This is to let you know that all the prophets that you're reading about in the past are back here today. Some of them recently went to the spiritual realm. Most of them are here. The Babylonian Empire, you had Jeremiah, you had Isaiah, you had a whole lot of prophets that knew each other. During the time of Saul was prophesying with the prophets, and it was said Saul prophesying with the prophets. I'm merely paraphrasing, and they were playing instruments, musical instruments, and they were called a company. When you had a bunch of prophets together prophesying, they were called a company of prophets. We say camps, really it's company. Anyway, let me see if I can. Don Kirshner. Don Kirshner rock. See what comes up. Rock concert let's try this. Okay, Don Kirshner's rock concert. And I used to watch, Jake too. We used to. Okay, what bands played? Let me see. Don Kirshner's rock concert. Don Kirshner rock concert is an American television music variety show that ran during the 1970s and early 80s. Created and produced by Don Kirshner. But you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Don Kirshner's rock concert. Prince. Let me put in Prince. Wait a minute. Prince. Okay, this is the first time. Let me go to images. Okay, I'm trying to get the first time. Oh man. See, Prince had that music in him because he had it in when he was Amadeus. And that's definitely Amadeus. I'm trying to find, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. They should have his picture the very first time. Anyway, I can't find the picture. Let me go back to images one more time. Okay, that's Don Kirshner. This is Prince. He's already famous. I believe he was wearing purple panties that day. And everybody at the job was talking, on buses go to work, everybody was talking about who's this guy? I think his name is Prince. And from there, he skyrocketed into fame because he had the music in the back when he, in the previous life. So he had his lot. He was going to come, and Stevie Wonder's Beethoven, for sure. Well, wait a minute. Beethoven was deaf. He wasn't blind. Yes, but he started going blind too. Don Kirshner's rock concert. But his first appearance was on Midnight Special with Jack. Was this guy Wolfman Jack? And then Saturday nights, Don Kirshner's rock concert would come on, and they, the first time I saw him was on Don Kirshner's rock concert. And then from there, he just skyrocketed to fame. And he died relatively young, just like Amadeus died relatively young. He died of parasites. But anyway, so we know what this precept means, right? Come back. We know what this precept means. But go thou thy way till the end be the end. We're in the end. So Daniel is here. Either Daniel recently died or Daniel is here among us. Could be maybe one of the brothers in Chicago. It could be one of the brothers in New York. It could be myself. Oh, wait a minute, Tar. He thinks he's Daniel now. I didn't say that. I said it could be any one of us. It could be somebody from another camp. That's a sincere brother. Okay. So every prophet that was back there in the past are back here now or recently. Ain't no new prophet's gonna be born. Well, that's surprise. That's Daniel right there, my boy. No, because he's not that's a different generation. Daniel would have to be here among us, or he could be in the spiritual realm. Hell, he could be Yahweh, whatever. But I strongly believe that Daniel is here among us. I can't prove it. Can't prove it, brother. Well, why teach it? Why even teach reincarnation? Anyway, I did all of this to go into this here. I'm gonna try not to make this long. I'm gonna try to cut it short. Anyway, let's go to Malachi 4. And this is a very short chapter, so I'm going to read. Oh, well, it says the headline, Final Abomination. I'm sorry, Final Admonition, which means it means like a warning, a stiff warning. So Malachi 4 is talking about this coming destruction. So let me read through it. The key point is down here at the end. The last 2 verses, maybe 3, maybe 4, 5, and 6. Anyway, it said, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven." We know what that means. And all the proud, we know who the proud are. Yeah, and all that do wickedly, we know who the wicked are. Malachi 1 shall be stubble. They're going to burn. It's going to be like an oven, and it's an ancient oven, not the oven that go up to 500 degrees, 550. You know, where you can cook a pizza. The ancient ovens, when they made bread, it took you 3 seconds to you take the dough, put the yeast on it, throw it in the oven, throw it, you know, flip it to the other side. Ephraim is a cake not turned. What does that mean? That literally means when you make bread from dough, you throw it on that hot oven. One side of it is like brown. Part of it could be a little bit burnt. You tear that off. The other side is not yet turned, so it's light. Now, if you go to the East Indian restaurant, you ask for a bread called naan, and you get the bread. The bread, and we don't even eat. We love naan, we love it, but we don't eat it no more because bread is the devil. Rice is the white rice is the devil. You got to eat like black rice. I have black rice. I got black rice. Apostle Bar got me. I made some black rice. I love black rice. I mean black rice, brown rice, quinoa. That's what I eat. I don't eat. I stay away from that white rice. The white rice is the devil. So when it says in Hosea, Ephraim is a cake not turned, meaning when you go back to the when you go back to the ancient world, the ancient ovens, which if you go to Eastern restaurant, ask for naan, one side of it is going to be dark brown, some parts of it could be burnt, tear it off. The other side is going to be light, almost white. So that's what that means. Ephraim is a cake not turned, meaning you're going to have Ephraimites that look almost like Edomites. Some of them look like Edomites. Some of them are Edomites, but some of them could pass for Edomites. It said, "For behold, the days cometh that shall burn as an oven." That's what he saw as Babylon being destroyed by the missiles. And all the proud, we know who the proud are, Edomites. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, that thou that dwellest in the cliffs and the rocks. Yeah, and all that do wickedly. Who are the wicked? Just go back to Malachi 1. Read the whole chapter. Shall be stubble. What is stubble? After something burnt, what's left? Stubble. And the day that cometh, because it's one day, which is the time of Jacob's trouble, shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. What is a root? What is a branch? A root, if you cut a tree down and you don't uproot it, guess what? The tree is going to grow back. So once you cut the tree down, you have to uproot the tree. And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to uproot Esau's tree. That's a topic right there. The Most High is going to uproot Esau's tree, meaning they're never going to come back into power. Oh, this is another scripture that, kills what Lahab said, Elder Lahab, whatever his position is. Oh, after 1,000 years in the kingdom, Esau going to come back and take us down again. Well, wait a minute, how are you going to take us down when he's not rooted? He's going to be rooted, uprooted. The roots are going to be taken out. That's also in Isaiah 14. It says that he does not rise nor possess the world with cities, right? So Lahab was going off. And the Fopi didn't correct them because they're little puppies in the game. Most High's not dealing with them. It says, but unto you that fear my name, what are we known for? Fearing the name of the Most High, which the true name is Yahweh, the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. How do we know that? Through the Spirit. Can we prove it? That's how you phonetically say the Most High's name and the Son's name? No. It says, but unto you that fear my name, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked. Ye shall tread down the wicked. There's a precept that comes to my mind that's in the Apocrypha. Let me go bring it up. It's in Baruch. It's in Baruch. Or just put in neck. It says in Genesis 49, the hands of Judah's hands are going to be in the neck of thy enemies. That's it right here. Now, when you get the understanding of that, meaning when you want to kill somebody, you put your hands around somebody's neck and you squeeze until life is out of them. They expire. Expire literally means to not breathe anymore. Well, that's not it. Anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go to modify this thing. Go to the Apocrypha. It's in the book of Baruch. Here it is, Baruch 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy, who's the number one enemy? Go to Psalms 80, or was it 83? The number one enemy on the list are the Edomites. Have persecuted thee. We're being persecuted right now. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. Second verse, Malachi, back in Malachi 4, verse 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go forth and grow up as the calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, but they shall be ashes under the soles of thy feet. I think of the first Terminator movie with the robot, the opening scene. It says, in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of hosts, which is the downfall of Esau. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel with the statutes and the judgments. So keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Now, this is talking about when Elijah came back as Abba. Abba Bivens is Elijah coming back. If you cannot see that, then the Most High is not dealing with you. You were in an old wine bottle. The Most High is clearly not dealing with you. You're not of the elect. Read Matthew, the 13th chapter, from the first verse. Read the whole chapter, especially from the first verse on down to like into the 12th verse. It tells you about some has fell on the wayside. Some of you guys have fell on the wayside. Some was choked, by the weeds. I'm paraphrasing what it says. If you cannot see, if you do not understand this precept right here, Malachi 4 verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Now, when, like I said, this is talking about when he came as Abba. How do we know that Abba is the man of the Lord, Elijah? Because the biggest group of people that teach this truth are the people that came out of One West, right? Right? So let's go back to the root of it. We, like myself, I was taught by Masha, Arya, Yaikwab, and then the rest of the seven. What some of them were not right. And they fell off. But the key three was Masha, Arya, and Yaikwab. Arya, if he's still living, because last time I seen him was a couple of years ago, he's up in age. I believe he's like 82. What does the scripture say about, with strength four score? So he's living on borrowed time anyway. You only promise 70 years and with strength 80 years. Anything beyond that, you're living on borrowed time. So I'm assuming that he's still alive. If he's in the spiritual realm, that's all right. The Most High gonna set him back up anyway. We strongly believe that High Priest Arya is John the Revelator, as he has said. But why do we say that? Because of his spirit. And he went deep into revelation. Like myself, I like to go into breakdowns. If I can go into anything, I like to go into chapters. And I'll go through it over and over and over again, because that's what High Priest Arya did. He would go into Revelation 11 chapter, then we go into the history, then go into the Hebrew, and then a week later, he'll go into maybe Revelation 12, and then a week after that, the second week, he'll go back into Revelation 11. I just say, what? We went through that, but he would go through it again and again and again. Why? So I don't have to have notes. I don't have to pull out some notes. Oh, let me pull out the notes on Revelation 11. It's already in my head because I went through it so many times. That's why myself, I love to go into full chapters. That's why I said when I hit Malachi 4, I said, let me start from the top. And what is this all about? When we come down to the 5th verse, it said, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So you don't understand, when is that going to come? Read the 1st verse. This is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Right here. And if you don't know who the proud, you don't know what is meant by the proud, or they that do wickedly, or where's the word wicked? again. Okay, wicked, and ye shall tread down the wicked. The wicked are the Edomites, not the Moabites, not the Ammonites. So it says, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great dreadful day of the Lord. Well, let's talk about John the Baptist. Nope. Even though he did come as John the Baptist, that's talking about when he came as Abba. If you cannot see that, then you are not of the elect. The Most High has not opened up your eyes. If you did see it at one time and you can't see it now, the Most High took it from you, from certain outside influences. In order for you to get the full understanding, you have to be a part of the elect. Many are called, but few are chosen. You know it yourself. You go into the history. A lot in the beginning, when we came on the scene in 07, 08, 09, you had a lot of people come in. You had a lot of people fall back out. Some got kicked out, some fell out, some came against us, some just went back into the world, some went back into being Baptist. Some of you niggas even became Kemetic. You out of your fucking mind. You out of your damn mind. It said, but behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great dreadful day of the Lord. That's the destruction. That's the time of Jacob's trouble. Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, the last verse, the 13th verse. Daniel shall what? Rest and stand up in his lot, meaning destiny. He was destined to come back. Daniel most likely is here among us. He could have recently died. I don't think so. I actually believe he's here among us. Don't ask me who I think he is. I have no idea. Because if I say, well, Daniel is this guy, you said, well, then who's Jeremiah? Well, I don't know. Well, wait a minute. Then how do you know that Daniel is that guy? And that has nothing to do with genealogies. It says, read the story of Saul, how the Most High took the spirit from him. And he went so far as to consult the witch to bring up the spirit of Samuel. And Samuel said, you know, the F's your problem, you know, because he was resting. Isaiah 57. It says, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Least meaning before I come and smite the earth with a curse. Not unless I come and, no, because the Most High is going to smite the earth with a curse. And it's happening now. Let me read this again, sixth verse. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children. We are the children of our fathers. We are our fathers. Everything is reincarnated. Read Exodus 20, around about the fourth, fifth verse. That's reincarnation right there. You pay for the sins. You pay for the sins when you come back as your children. Everything is reincarnated. You pay for the sins of your fathers because you are your fathers. Reincarnation. See, Vocab Malone can't get this because he's not an Israelite. And let's say he just is an Israelite that's lost. Well, he's not of the elect. Let's say he's actually an Israelite. Well, guess what? He's still going to be destroyed because he's not a part of the elect. That's why that man's gaining so much sleep, because of stress, man. You gain weight because you're stressed, and you're eating a lot of comfort foods. That's why when he met us, he invited us to go eat pizza. Pizza is nothing but the pizza. The pizza is the devil. That ain't nothing but carbs. That turns into sugar. That's how you get diabetes. And diabetes turn into other diseases. You can go blind. You can lose a leg. You can lose both legs. You can lose your fingers. You know, diet diabetes is associated with heart disease, stroke. You get one disease adds up to another disease. So he's all messed up in the head, and he's losing sleep, and he's eating pizza all the time and honey buns, and he's getting bigger and bigger because he's stressed out. He can't get one Israelite to come on his side, because the stuff that you got is weak. You don't understand the prophecies. It says, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. So who are the fathers? So Abba had to give it to somebody. Who did he give it to? He gave it to a bunch of people, but who did it boil down to? It boiled down to three men: Marsha, Aria, and Yaquab. And out of the rest of the seven, they came out of a group of men, because when Abba died, the people that followed Abba, Bivens, they didn't want to follow Aria, Marsha, Aria, and Yaquab, because they came up with him. He said, we ain't following you. You are peers. So they became the new leadership. And then we came in, which we are the new leadership. We are the leaders of this thing. Leaders of the new school, so you can understand. But anyway, we here at I'm gonna get ready to close. We here at GMS, Great Millstone, which is just a name. And it's a spirit. We don't have a roster. Okay, look, brother, you want to be down with GMS? Okay, you got to fill out this application. Give me your social security number. Where do you work? What's your mother's maiden name? You know, because Vocab made a statement that GMS, they're totally unorganized. Well, there's a method to our madness, man. It's all spiritual. You know. Now, when if I got information on everybody, intel on everybody, which I'll never join an organization that I got to give all my intel up. Now, you got to do it in a fucking job, man. But if a group asks you, what's your mother's maiden name? What's your social security number? Where do you work at? What position do you work? How much money do you make? Because they looking to get what you got. That's what the churches do, man. The Lord didn't have no roster. Hey, when the apostles, the biggest number that was gathered was 5,000. They didn't say, "Well, get out the applications." No, it was just through the Spirit, you know, and that's how it was at One West. They didn't make you sign. You didn't have to sign give them no paperwork. You came in. There's certain guys people that came in, certain women that came in off the street, and they would have Bibles for them. They would read out the Bibles, learn, and they would go about. Then you might not see them for 2 weeks. Because when we first came in, it was like a church. You know, you come in, sit down, listen, blah, 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 go. And then it was a spirit when I came in. That's when everything opened up. When I came in, when I say me, I'm talking about myself, General Yohana, Barak. Barak came in before me. He was in there maybe 2 months before me. Then I came in, and then Yohana came in. Yohana came in after Barak and myself. I came in sometime in April. Yohana came in, I would say sometime in July. It was in the summer, because he came in with his brother and his sister. And I know both his brother and his sister. I can tell you where his brother's working. I can tell you where his sister's working. All right. A couple of years ago, his brother called my cousin, and I was with him. And he said, "Let me talk to Dahar." He said, what's my brother doing? He's talking about Yohana because he's not in contact. And that's when we were like feuding. And I said, "Oh, I don't know what he's doing. He's teaching, whatever, you know." But then Ariala came in, maybe another month, couple of months after that. So there was a group of guys that came in, and we all came in on fire, and that's when things started opening up. You understand? So there's an order there. You just can't be no random guy on the street that come into the school and all of a sudden become a teacher. You can't make yourself of the elect. The book of Ephesians tell you that this thing is predestined. You know, from the foundation, was it the foundation of the world? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can spell predestined. I'm a terrible speller. Let me go to predestined, not predestined, predestined. Okay, let me see here. Oh, that's a good scripture. I wasn't looking at that one. Let me try this. Let me do it this way. See what comes up. Okay. Ephesians. I'll read all of these precepts. Romans 8 verse 29. For whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. 30th verse. Moreover, whom he predestined, these he also called. Whom he called, these he also justified. Many are called, but few are justified or chosen or anointed. Ye have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. And whom he justified or chosen or anointed, these he also glorified. Ephesians 1 verse 5, having predestined us to adoption. What is adoption all about? Go to Romans the 9th chapter. As sons by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. Let me read that again. So you can't make yourself like Lahab. Lahab is not one of the elect unless he fully repents. But you are of the elect because you were chosen from the foundation of the world. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me go to Ephesians 1, verse 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahushua. And we know that the apostle Paul was definitely one of the chosen, because Yahushua came in. Yahushua knocked him off the horse, blinded him, and came and supped with him and gave him these revelations. It says, Paul, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, by the will of the Most High, which is the Father, to the saints, the Israelites, who are in Ephesus. So the people of Ephesus were Israelites. Some were Gentiles and some were Israelites that knew they were Israelites, and faithful in Yahushua, HaMashiach Yahushua. Grace to you and peace from the Most High, our Father, and the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, redemption in HaMashiach, which is the Christ. Blessed be the Most High and the Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who, you notice the Apostle Paul, he constantly praising Yahweh and his son. He's not saying Most High. He said, well, how do you say it? IUIC says blessings. How do you say it? All praises. All praises to who? The Apostle Paul didn't say all praises. He said he named the names. He named names who has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places in Hamashiach. Just as he chose us, the word chose also goes back to the anointing. You have an unction from the Holy One. Unction meaning you are anointed, you are chosen. Us chose us in him before, there it goes, before the foundation of the world. So if you're ultimately of the elect, let's start with the 144,000. You are of the elect before Genesis 1 verse 1 was even spoke about. Special spirits. You're gonna in the kingdom, you're gonna have two classifications of Israelites. You're gonna have the elect, and you're gonna have the rest of Israel, which ultimately they're all gonna receive the same blessings. Scriptures speak about a penny. They're gonna all work for the same penny, right? It says, just as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined us to adoption as sons by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself according to the good pleasure of his will. Let me look up the word predestined. You can't make yourself an elect. You have to, the Most High has to make you, he can't make you the elect. You're the elect from before the foundation of the earth. Pro or zo. What does it mean? Predetermined, decide beforehand in the NT New Testament of the Most High, decreeing from eternity to foreordain a point beforehand. So if you are of the elect, ultimately, you were always the elect. In your past life, it says the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophet. So for you to not see that Abba Bivens, who ultimately, there were three men that came up under him, and we came up under them, that proves that Abba has to be Elijah. And if you can't see it, you are not of the elect. Point blank, period, end of sentence. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Hey, look, we're living in the Most High is getting ready to take this place out. He's getting ready to take this place out. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.